Well, thank you so much everyone for joining for this session. I'll start with sharing a little bit about me. So my name is Bulbul Jain and I'm the co-founder of EXO. It's a digital platform building sustainable and transparent supply chain, connecting food companies with the farmers. In addition to that, I recently finished my MBA from the Wharton Business School. And during my MBA, I was helping Wharton Alumni Angels for screening companies for their investment. I helped startups writing their operational plan, financial forecasting, funding strategies, and I'm so excited to combine all that experience together and share my insights today on the navigating financing options for your business. All right, so money is the fuel that makes business go and grow. And sometimes we underestimate the efforts required to launch a business. And sometimes we don't think about how much capital we will need, what are the ways to raise money, or what kind of funding we need. You know, what are the issues we will be navigating with the product or the marketing. There are several reasons, and according to the US Bank study, 82% of businesses that failed cited cash flow problems as their factor in their business failure. And not only that, according to one study, 90% of businesses fail when they are at seed stage. So as we know, all money is not equal. And before we spend figuring out what kind of funding we will need, it's very important to do some work and think about why we need it, right? Is it for the strategy support, or do we have everything figured out and we just want money, or do we want to learn from the community? Do we want money from going from A to B? And every company is different, and there is no rules about what we should do and what we should not do when it comes to funding. And that's why having a clear roadmap specific to your company, to your startup, is very critical, so that we don't find ourselves going in all different directions. Securing financing is a significant challenge for any startup and small businesses. Deciding whether I want a debt or equity path, sometimes the single most important aspect of ecosystem is our community. But understanding of the path and common pitfalls can help navigate those challenges. And my goal here today is to share overview of different financing models, their pros and cons, and sharing my insights and learnings along the way. So according to SBA, business loans, business credit cards, and line of credits account for 3/4 of the financing for new firm. Depending on what type of entity, whether it is a limited liability, Corp C, Corp B, they will look at the company and decide. Credit history and collateral that play key role in the loan process. And SBA offers a wide variety of loan, including 7A, and through SBA you can qualify for government contracting as well. There is a lot more information on these two websites for SBA, so I won't spend much time, but it is a very good option if you are looking for a loan option. Now, one of the great things about personal fund is that all you have to do is write a check for yourself. No preparation needed, no presentation you need to do. But a lot of people also have philosophy of using other people's money, and there is a reason, right? If you are deciding for your personal fund, also it depends on need. If you have a small need and you can manage your personal fund, that's fine, but sometimes the need is bigger and one doesn't have that much fund. And what time horizon? Are you looking for short term or long term? Some advantages is it's easy, greatest return if you are successful. You can treat it as an equity or debt. Disadvantages is that you are working hard, putting your time and effort and everything in your startup or a business, and you put all of your money, but sometimes things happen and you need some money and you don't have it because you're a startup, you have invested everything in your startup. So if you are using your personal fund, it's important to protect that investment. Work with a lawyer and put it in writing that it's a loan. How it's payable, the rights, or if it's a payable in full or not specify. So that's important if you are using your personal fund. Family and friends can be a viable and easy source of funds that you need for your venture. It's a quicker access to cash with fewer hoops to jump through. If you are planning to ask your friends and family, it's great, but be realistic about it, that the money is not going to be huge amount. It's important, even though you're asking your friends and family, but it's always great to maybe prepare a pitch deck or prepare information about your business, what's your idea, and what is the future you see with your venture. Advantage is, again, it's flexible, don't have to work on official papers, it's a quick and effective. Disadvantages, it's not that much and you could have conflict if business fails. So one way to protect your relationship is if you want to put something in agreement and how you want to do your repayment is the key. Now here I want to share a little bit about the government funding opportunities. Grant can help you start up your business. National Science Foundation awards nearly $190 million annually to startups and small businesses through Small Business Innovation Research Fund, SBIR, and a Small Business Technology Transfer Fund. And these work in two phases. And these funds or these grants are mostly for the innovation and invention, and that's the key here, which can be commercialized, right? So IP is the key here. They cover wide variety of technologies and almost all areas of science and technology. SBA also have some grants through federal, states, and local program, and it can be found on their website. Advantages is it's a rapid financing without dilution. You don't need any personal guarantees or collateral, very simple, fast, founder friendly, no repayment is required, and it's an accomplishment if you go to an investor and say, hey, I got SBIR grant or I got STTR grant. And these two are the largest source of funds. My personal experience is I recently applied for a USDA grant. I did not, it did not pass, but one of my friend who got the same grant approved. And learnings from that is that it takes, learnings and you apply again and again. For them, it was third time they applied and they win the grant. So don't be disappointed if you don't get the grant. Some of the disadvantages, again, like I shared from my learning, it's very competitive. Funding rate is around 15%. It's a very comprehensive, lengthy process. So you have to put your time and effort, and sometimes you need some advisor or who can help you walk through the whole process and maybe share some key insights like how to strategies to win the grant. For example, in my case, I got to learn that if you are applying just as an individual company, it's little hard, but if you can show that it's a kind of 2 other companies or businesses are working with you, maybe the chances is little more. And also you have to keep your dates and deadlines in mind, because they have particular deadlines to apply. So business plan competition, I just want to share because I have participated in that, and I would say don't discount it. It have become more prevalent over the years. It is a limited funding, but it's free. Hey, you are not giving up your equity or anything. It's a free money. There are, depending on what industry you are working or what technology you are, there are different competitions. For my venture, I applied, so far I have applied few and I have won few. So again, it involves different strategy of preparation is required. The best thing I would say, in addition to money you win, is that you get the feedback from experts, you get the validation, you get support, and sometimes workplace if you are working with incubator and accelerator, and also the network you form, you make connections, and maybe they might be working in the same industry or doing similar business, so you get to learn from them. And again, some of the not so good thing is that you have to put your effort and you have to do the preparation. Maybe 1 year you might not win, but then you will learn and you iterate, you modify your business plan and apply again. According to these 2 surveys, the range is 10,000 to 80,000, which a startup or a small business need, and I can surely have seen my friends doing continuously working on these competition and have actually won more than that. So depending on where you want to put your time and effort. Angel investors, these are high net worth professionals. They could be entrepreneurs or serial entrepreneurs who sold their companies. They like to make investment because they have been there and done that, and they want to support that community. Most of their investment, they know that they have to make a lot of investment to be successful. Diversification is the key. And they make most of their investment in C Corp companies. 88% of the companies are C Corp, and they want to see that companies are generating revenue. Companies have high growth potential and strong management team and business plan. There are a lot of crowdfunding portals where a lot of angel investors participate, and I have not applied in the crowdfunding portals, but I know people who have done it and who won some money. So it is a good, depending on what you want to do, it's good to explore, and these are some of the platforms for crowdfunding. One good thing about angel investors are that they work in groups. So if you get their attention, then chances are that they will find somebody with the expertise if you have any challenge. It's a very close community. When I was supporting Wharton Alumni Angel Group, screening deals, it's you get a lot of companies and you're screening, you are looking at the business plan, you are looking, what are the different factors this company is standing out, whether it is their product, their IP, their team, market opportunity, what is their addressable market, right? Can they scale? What is their competitive advantage? So when they are screening the company, they are looking for all these different criteria. And these groups are focused in different industries. So here I have put a table where these are the top industries where angel investors like to invest: medical, healthcare, health technology, biotechnology. The good thing about some of the advantages are that they are not that strict. They have flexible agreements, terms. They provide network and resource like I shared. Some of the disadvantages are, thing is that you will have to show the return. And sometimes depending on the group, depending on the people, they like to get involved in decision making. So it is very specific, who you are working with. This is some stat I like to share from 2021 report. And like I shared, the angel investors, their 70% of their investment is, it's a small investment around 200K. And in 2020, they invested 4.7 million, which was 15% higher than 2019. And I don't see this year it's going to be this much. It's a low number. And these are some of the very active angel investors. So it's worth looking at, what are their companies, what are their portfolio companies, where they are investing. Angel investors are a lot of universities, they have their own group, cities, they have their own group. So it's always worth finding out, or maybe if you are not looking, networking with them and learning. Next is the VC fund. So venture capital, they have a mandate to invest, and VC fund is created only for that one purpose, is to invest. They want to see great product, they want to see customer acceptance, they want to see great revenue forecast, and they like to invest in high growth companies. They are driven by ROI, return on of investment. Means that they have to monetize the investment either by selling the company or by taking it to public through IPO. Now they are very price sensitive. What it means is that when it comes to valuation, they can only control their purchase price. They cannot control at what price they will be selling down in the 6 years down the line. So which that means that they have to show that they are generating 3x or 10x return, and unless or until they see in a business or a startup that they are generating that much return, they are not going to invest. And there are key strategies. It requires work with them. You show your pitch deck, go back, you get your feedback, you work on it. It could be a long process. VC covers wide range of industries. They invest in early stage, late stage, series A, B, C. Lot of VCs, they invest in a specific industry. So maybe one VC would be only investing in consumer product or food product or technology or healthcare. Maybe some might have thesis on, they are only going to be focusing this much percent in ethnic diversity or women founded companies, or maybe impact driven or sustainability companies. So when you are looking into these options, it's important to not, maybe be strategic about, okay, I have this VC and let's see, what is their portfolio company? Is it similar to mine? And maybe going for one further step and seeing like, okay, these are the portfolio company, let's see what these portfolio companies has done. What are the competitions they have participated, what are the accelerator and incubator or the things they have gone through. What is a good time to reaching out to VCs, right? I would say it's always a good time, just start the conversation, get their feedback. Now the hardest part would be to get their attention, because they get tons of emails, they are screening tons of companies. So always critical to have a strategy on how you are going to reach to a particular VC, maybe through a network, maybe through a connection, and how to get there. And that's why, a lot of times when companies get VC funding, they are like, okay, I'm successful now because I got this funding. Some of the advantages I have listed here is, again, you build a great network. They provide, because of their experience in that specific industry, operation or product, they provide great resources and support, and you get long-term commitment. They are there for your success. They will make sure that the company is growing. Disadvantages is that, again, the agreements, the controlling decisions, when you are working on the term sheet, they will own a stake in your business. So these are some of the things you will have to, I would say, trade-offs when you are working with VC. I thought it would be good to just share what is the VC funding situation this year. And according to CB Insight, the global venture funding is 34% less quarter over quarter this year. So it's only 74.5 billion. It has been, it's been tight, and a lot of VCs are thinking, okay, what should we do? They don't want to, they are very hesitant to invest in new companies, want to decide, okay, what they have in their portfolio, how they are going to manage those companies. Next is the strategic investors. So big corporations, they will make investment in companies. They are very risk averse, and these investors become more active as the market heats up, and then they are less interested as it goes down. So right now it's not a very good time for them. They always want to invest in their same industry. So suppose if I am in ag tech industry working, or a big corporation like Bayer, they are in ed tech, then they might be interested in some of the work my company is doing. Some of the advantages is that if you get a right partner, then they can help you develop your business. They can help you with technology part, they can help you with supply chain, they can help you with scaling your business because they are in the same industry, they know, they have the network, they know it inside out. Some of the disadvantages is that the competition is their product or your product competing with their product, and what is the future, right? It's a long process because now you are working with corporations. And sometimes, having the wrong partner can, be not so good for your business. And sometimes it can conflict with the VC investors because of the, again, agreements and the terms. So you have to be careful. And again, when it comes to that point, then working with a lawyer to write down the contract would be important. Now, a lot of these strategic investors, they have their own incubator or accelerator going on. So I have listed here some of the top strategic investor, or you can call it as a corporate venture, and they have their own, they look at the companies if they are in that space, and they, you can work with them in their incubator, get their support, and launch your company. So keys to success is preparation, a thriving business model with mission, value proposition, your team, who are your stakeholders, what is your IP, what is your revenue model, what is your customer acquisition strategy, how big is your market, how big is your addressable market, right? And what is your competitive landscape and the risk in your business, what is your competitive advantage, And these all, it's a process. You have your first iteration, you work and talk to a lot of people, apply to different fundings, and then you learn, and then you change it according to, you do your product market fit, and you learn. So it's about how you are executing, what is your focus on execution, and what is your plan from going A to B, what is your roadmap. Because when you are leading a business, when you are the owner of the business, there are 100 different things you have to worry about, and the important thing becomes, okay, where in a day I want to focus, or it's what is my priority, right? So having that roadmap is very critical. Execution is very important. Team is very, very important. Having a right team in place will help you, not short term but long term, because in the initial stages you are just developing the baseline. So this is just kind of the overview of how these are, what are the different options and what are the challenges and how to navigate all these options. There are a lot of resources and a lot of options, and everything will require the time and the strategy. So depending on where you are, what stage you are, how much funding you need, where you want to focus, will decide, okay, maybe the angel investor or maybe the VC or loan is the better option. And these are some of the resources and references. And with that, I would say, if you have any questions.
Oh, could you put that back up? Sorry.
Sure. And I have more templates and resources which I couldn't put everything in here, so please feel free to reach out to me and I'll happy to share that with you. But again, it's a constant, most importantly, it's a constant learning if you are leading that business or a startup. And
I think one thing that might be super helpful, especially since you have such a good repository of stuff, is just if you're willing to just connect with people and be a resource for that.
Yeah, definitely. If you want any, definitely. Last few years I have built a wealth of networks. So if you, I'll be happy to connect you with, whatever you are looking for. So that would be,
And I guess I know this talk is about this. I don't know if anyone has any specific questions about this as well, but I think it would be pretty cool if you mentioned a bit about what you're actually working on right now.
Yes.
Because that's a really neat product.
Yes, definitely. So like I shared, my venture is EXO, and we are, so I have 10 plus years of industry experience, worked in the food and beverage industry. So if you want to talk about food and beverage industry, more than happy to just share my experience and learnings. But during my work, I worked in supply chain and just saw all the challenges, and then it's like, okay, we have to do something about it. And I'm passionate about sustainability. So when I was starting my MBA, I found a person who has the similar passion, similar, saw the similar challenges, and we sat down and it was like, okay, we have to do something about it. It's not going to be solved unless somebody take that responsibility. So that's where EXO comes in. It's a this is a animal has a power of regenerate itself, so it's part, and that's where the regenerative marketplace comes in. We are working mostly focusing on regenerative agriculture. So what that means is that the practices which makes soil healthier to support food with better nutritious quality. And if you talk to any procurement person or sourcing person in a food industry, the biggest challenge is to find the right ingredient. And that's where we are coming in place. We are connecting the food companies directly with the farmers. So when I buy a product, I know from where my product or my ingredient is coming from. Who is the farmer and what practices they used on the soil to build, building better future. And yeah, if you need any help with financial, forecasting models or anything, just feel free to reach out to me, and if I cannot help, I'll direct you to the person who can. Yeah.
How long has your business been in practice?
So we started 3 years back. So this is the 3rd year, and we are now have customers. So we are generating revenue. We are at the same time we are building more and more our network. So we are adding more farmers on our platform.
Do you mind going through your history a little bit and your personal experience of raising capital all along the way?
Yes.
That would be very insightful.
Yes. So when we started XO, my co-founder, she is MBA from Chicago Booth, and there was the accelerator is NVC or SNBC Social New Venture Challenge. So we went through that accelerator program, learned a lot, and one thing I would say is that it's tremendous learning, not only that you share your everything what in your business plan, but also you get mentors who are working in that industry. You actually get to talk to your challenges. So it was great experience. We were the finalist in that program. We didn't win first prize, but we won the customer appreciation award. So that was great learning. And then we went to MIT, which I shared, the MIT program. So we got the funding there, went through that program. So our strategy has been like, okay, we were doing MBA and I was doing full-time work. So I was with Nestle actually at that time. And we just tried to kind of do whatever we could do with all the things going. So we wanted to learn basically. We wanted to form that network of advisors of the similar, people. So far we have finished 5 accelerator programs. So right now actually XO is working in a Wharton's accelerator program. So it's little bit kind of higher stage one. So maybe you get to see more, companies, work with companies who are further along. And we participated in a lot of pitch competitions. We won few. So we raised like I said, that working in all these things, if you strategize it, it's not that difficult to raise, at least maybe to reach to 100,000. But it's again, you have to constantly, keep up with, okay, this is like one of my friend, I was not that organized, but one of my friend, she had a list of all the competitions, all the accelerator and the deadlines and applying constantly. I helped one of the startups with the funding strategy. So then, it's kind of what is, your priority, and again, what is going on, where is that, deadline is. And then I shared about the grant. So I applied for USDA grant, which I didn't get. So I'll apply next year too, learned what more to do there. But I haven't tried for angel investors or VC funding just because we don't want that yet. So we want to, yes.
And why don't you want it yet?
I'm sorry?
And why don't you want it yet?
Again, when you are working with the angel investors or VCs, all these things we have done with XO, it's free money, right? Now, when you go to next stage, yes. So we lay down our roadmap and we're like, okay, we have the funds to take our company from, this to this point. And for this point, we don't need external, funding. So that's because one reason. And then again, the trade-offs you're gonna make. And that didn't make sense, at least at this stage.
So at this stage,
Yes, yes, yes. So,
Well,
So are the, oh, sorry. Are you basically like a food broker? Are you just a connection between the
farmers and the
and getting to market?
and the companies, but in addition to that, we are helping farmers in various respects, like certification is one thing, different resources, yes, and same with food companies. So not just as a like, hey, I got order, and not just that, but also kind of in the space working with both sides and helping them in different areas.
And I'm just kind of curious, you work for Nestle, who's sort of like the evil empire, I would consider. Did that kind of push you out to do this kind of work?
Like I shared, my experience has been in the food industries, and I have seen the challenges, right? And in not just food, sustainability, it's a big problem everywhere, right? And because my expertise is in food, and I understand that supply chain from the seed to the end product, and this is where my expertise is. And that's why one thing I really emphasize is when you are taking your pitch or business plan to an investor, they want to see whether you have your teammates, somebody with the expertise in that industry or experience or something, right? So that somebody, it really helps.
And just one more question. I assume you're originally from India.
Yes.
So is it helpful to have connections there? Because obviously there's huge farming going on there. And are you working at all?
So this is my actually goal for December. I'm going to India. I have not done any. So right now we have farmers in US, Mexico, and Canada. So we are working with them, not in India. But like you said, that there is maybe potential. So I'm going there and just gonna find out, what is, because again, Mexico and Canada, it's close, and you can, have more control versus in India. But we are actually looking on the spice side. And so that might be a key there.
So what resources did you use when you were preparing to enter into like the competitions that you entered and stuff like that? And what do you wish you would have used?
That's a great question. Resources, so me and my co-founder, we were fortunate, and again, one of the advantages when you are going through these programs, you get interns. So they will provide you interns, and they will help you with, writing your marketing. And like right now we have an intern who is helping us with the website. So things like that. For us, we have so many resources. It's like the time is the key now, that where to prioritize. Right? Like right now we are actually working on next year's strategy. Okay, where we want to focus, and do we want still to participate in any accelerator or competition, or we are done with that, or grants and things like that. So, but I would say that don't underestimate the grants. If you get it, it's huge. It's just
A lot of work.
yeah, but to getting there, it's work. Resources, it's every step, right? Every area in your startup or in business, it needs resources. More you can get, the right team, and that's where we are getting that, but we are also struggling in some of the areas, like okay, maybe we need to, because there are tons of farmers and we don't have that many hands to reach out to all the farmers. So that would be one thing, that maybe we can get more resources there. Yeah.
What kind of background does your co-founder have?
She is a lawyer, and she just finished her MBA too, and and finance. She works in, she has worked in the finance side.
That's a good pairing.
Yeah. And that's why, over the years, I have been in the operations side in food industry, and I knew finance, but I did not have the kind of going into 10-layer deep, like I could not read the 10Ks of the companies. So that's why when I was doing my MBA, I focused my MBA for majoring in finance. So done, all the term sheet, learned all the, how VCs are working on these term sheet, financial models, how to read 10Ks, how, companies are looking for, where are the strength, and so all that.
You weren't at the FIG meeting on Monday night, were you?
I was not.
And are you based in St. Louis or Chicago?
I live in Chesterfield, so I have been here in St. Louis last 12 years. Yeah. I moved here, I worked at Dr. Pepper Snapple, so I started my career there. Any other questions or any other pressing, maybe let me ask you, like, what is the most, like, challenging aspect in this area?
I can share. For me, as I'm building out my company, the business plan is the most challenging aspect for me. I've done some parts of it, but because what I'm doing is new, there's not really a lot to compare to. So I just don't know where to pull data from if it's not there. So how do you? I mean, the food industry has plenty of data, but for something that's a new concept, how do you?
What is your industry?
So I'm in blockchain and NFTs.
There are a lot of resources there,
Yeah,
but not a history, not with the history, yeah.
Yeah, not in the way that I'm using it in real life. Merging it with travel and tourism is not there yet, right? Like a mass adoption use
It's not there, yeah.
It's just a small community of people who do things digitally. But when I roll it out in real life to now, and you talked about in your slide just having the opportunity or the ability to show customer validity, basically, that people would be willing to accept something like this. How do I put that on paper, for something that isn't out yet?
So I was very interested in this area. So this year actually I went to Switzerland just to learn the Web3 and all that, and there are tons of startups, working in a lot of different areas, and there are actually in a lot of conferences happening in the blockchain space, in the Web3 space. Maybe finding network there and just asking them how you are reaching out or finding different resources. But I agree, like if this product is not in the market, maybe finding something similar or something, maybe the traditional, and see what challenges they have faced. And I mean,
Yeah, I've been reading white lists for other projects that seemingly similar, like have some of the same similar things, but it's not all encompassing, which
yeah.
understood. And I did stumble across one like a couple days ago, and I read their entire white list, like 60 pages, and it's pretty good. And the way that they're doing it is allowing for the mass adoption. So that was one that I did find.
Yeah.
But I guess when I'm thinking about how to put the business plan together and compare that market to what it is that I'm trying to do, that's where I'm getting hung up. Those numbers and analytics. Like I don't know how to put that in there.
I would say even in the traditional businesses, when I put business plan for EXO, we have gone through so many iterations. So write down the best of your knowledge, and then when you are taking it to different, next level, next stage, you will get feedback if you want funding or, things like that. And then based on, maybe get more creative or maybe learn from, the feedback. And I would say also one thing is find maybe expert in that area. There are not many right now, but there are few. So if you can get connection there, and maybe if somebody can look at it and maybe provide their 2 cents, sometimes that's important. Yeah. But even in traditional businesses, you just iterate, learn and iterate. So it's not like, first time you get it right.
I know.
Yeah, one thing we learned with EXO is we started with, okay, we are gonna verify, we are gonna certify, and we was like, no, that's totally different. You need different expertise. So we kind of said no. We said no to that for now. So yeah, it's. All right. What's this? Sorry. It's one. Okay.
Any other questions? Wrap up and get ready to switch over.
Is there are there resources like maybe like community or peer networks of people who are also like working on their startups and they probably work in the same space together, kind of like a library, but you work in the same space together. You can kind of bounce ideas, ask questions with each other. Like I'm always looking for support groups like that because I think it helps to push people further. Do you know of any that exist?
Just in Peterson as an incubator space where there's a bunch of food kind of people, growers and stuff.
Okay.
I'm happy to share that information with you.
Yeah. I'm sure there are a lot of people working in the same space. It's just kind of matter of finding how. There are a lot of incubator and accelerator too. So if you want to go in that route, because that also helps you build the network and provide resources. And they you can participate in that and kind of they will help you refine your business model. Yeah, and if I find something, I'll share with you. Yeah. And I think we have next presentation for NFT, so maybe oh, you're okay, cool. Awesome.